Anthropic has filed an IPO. You have to submit a draft first to the SEC, from what I understand, to do the IPO later this year.
Command AI.
So they are officially doing this before OpenAI. There seemed to be like a race going on between SpaceX, even Google, I read, and OpenAI and Anthropic. So everybody's trying to get a lot of money, like private money, to to keep delivering us tokens so we can burn on nonsense software. It seems like something very interesting about it. I read that in March this year, Anthropic was worth 350 billion, but now they are worth almost $1 trillion. That's a significant growth. That's crazy. What's really interesting to me is not just Anthropic going to do this IPO, it's also SpaceX. It was a space company, but not so much anymore, even though it sounds like it. They are an AI company because SpaceX owns XAI, which owns Twitter and all of this, like Grok and everything. So Elon made a bet of buying a lot of compute, a lot of GPUs, setting up data centers. Funnily enough, the guy who accelerated the electric cars for the planet, he has these giant data centers, and because there is not enough electricity to draw from the grid, he's using gasoline generators to make the electricity for these like giant data centers. It's crazy. So SpaceX is going to do their IPO at $1.75 trillion. It's just insanity. Anthropic is going next, and OpenAI wants to do this ASAP as well. There is just so much money available, and like you, if you are going to spend some money, you have like, I don't know, like you have like, I would guess like you have 500K in your bank account ready to spend. You don't have more. So you have to choose between these companies, and you probably will choose the one who goes to do the IPO first. You spend your money on that, and then there won't be as much money left in the market. That's the idea. Google is buying $1 billion of compute per month from SpaceX, because Google owns about 100 billions of shares in SpaceX. So they are giving them a contract because they want to make their business look like it's booming, so they can go do a big IPO. Anthropic is also now in business with SpaceX because they don't have enough compute. I don't know if you have anything to add to this, but it's just a big insanity going on right now.
Well, maybe you'll be able to answer this, or maybe not, and maybe why I'm not so interested in it, right? Can we break down what an IPO is and what it means? Because to me, it feels like a bit of, in a nutshell, it feels like to me that they can't rely on investors anymore. So then they allow the public to buy a portion of their shares to effectively for you and I to invest in the company.
Elon Musk, for example, comes and forms SpaceX. It's his company, and he either puts money in the company from his pocket, or he goes to a few private investors and he says like, okay, the company, I'm going to give you like 5% for $10 million, whatever, like, and then they make an evaluation of how much the company is valued at based on like a bunch of metrics, like how big the targeted the market that they are targeting is, how much, like what they can output and how much wins they can basically have in the future. If you come to me and say, hey, I want you to give me some money, what I want from you is to give me some assurance that I will get my money back somehow, or like, you know, I will make a big profit there because you show me your numbers, you show me that you're expanding and you're building something. And this is what normally happens, but right now that's not the case. So I will get to your answer to your question in a second as well. Right now, as we know, all of these AI companies are literally burning money because they are giving away tokens. They are doing a lot of research. They are growing, but they are not making profits. They are losing money because the cost of the GPUs and the cost of like buying the hardware and doing the research is just so high that at the end of the day they are losing money. There's a hope, at least that's what they are trying to sell. So for example, Elon Musk comes and says, I have SpaceX and we're going to build like these data centers in the space, and the market is going to be this big and that big, and you'll make your money back. None of SpaceX is really making any money except for Starlink. So all different parts of it is losing like money big time. So it's like a small division that is kind of like fueling all of that. So they need money. They need more money to build more data centers. How do they get this money? Is by doing the IPO, public offering. So coming to you and saying like, we have this big opportunity, buy in now, and you'll be good in the future. And they are, from what I understand, like SpaceX is offering like 5%, if I'm not mistaken, or like a really small percentage of the total company. So it's not like when they go public, it's not like you can buy the entire company. It's like a small portion of the company, but the whole company is valued at a very big number, 1.75 trillion. And normally that value is, it depends on your numbers, but right now it's extremely inflated. Like it's like I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 100 times more inflated than a normal business. So that's the risk that comes with it. That means if you buy this, you are being promised this 100x growth that might never happen.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Because at 1.5 trillion, like, where can it go from there? And if I understand this correctly, if say we go in at 1.5 trillion, but actually by the next year it goes actually down to half a billion or whatever, then our investment is smaller. Then it's like, I'm trying to think of like an analogy.
So you pay $100 and you buy a portion of SpaceX or whatever, one of these companies, and then it tanks. Like you buy it at a 1 billion evaluation, and then the company goes to $500 million next year. So your $100 is now worth just $50, because if you want to sell it and take your money out, the amount that you sell it for is half the amount you buy it, and that's basically how it is. And there is this big worry that these companies will tank because it's a bubble. There is no reason. They are just like inflating the numbers. And again, like Google is buying compute from SpaceX because Elon got more GPUs. But they have a big incentive to do this because they own 100 billion. So they make the business look better, and the contract that they have can be terminated within 90 days. So that's not really like, if you buy into SpaceX because they have a $1 billion contract, you need to know that contract can be terminated within 90 days. That's not safety for you. That's not safety for your money.
And again, we're not qualifiers. It's not financial information. Like the point of all this that interests me is, personally, I've invested in a few companies that I thought would do really well. Tesla, invested in Tesla because I thought it would do really well. They did fantastically, and then I sold because I made a bit of money off of I don't know if you remember in 2020, like Tesla went fucking massive. I would not recommend investing in individual stocks, because this is what you've just described is exactly the difficulty with investing in individual stocks. You do not know, or you might, there are so many aspects outside of your control that unless you're really well versed on the intricacies of what an impact of one thing might impact another, this is the sort of knowledge that you should have when you're investing in an individual company, like properly. You put all your eggs in that basket to say, because of X, Y, and Z, I think they're going to do really well. All that to say that I invest in index funds, which is a selection. Someone else is doing all the selection of who to invest in and why. There's algorithms out there, and Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, says like he would put all his money in an index fund if he could go back, or if he could advise anyone. Index funds are the way to do it. So you don't have control. You have where your kind of money, which industries you invest in, but you don't really have control of the individual stocks. SpaceX, because they're valued so high, a lot of these different index funds, because there's tons of index funds, S&P 500, S&P 100, NASDAQ, all of these index funds, they're eager to get such a valuable company. Well, S&P 500 is different. NASDAQ are eager to get SpaceX part of their roster because it's looking really tempting. A lot of people are going to want to invest in SpaceX through their index funds, and they think it looks attractive. So they're bending some of their rules that they have in place. What normally happens is if you IPO, you join an index fund, your performance is then reviewed after a year, and then you actually get let into it, and then they'll start putting money in, because IPO is short for something like extremely fucking overvalued.
Volatile.
It's got overvalued.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Often companies are overvalued when they IPO, so that's why they have that period.
They IPO at the best time.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's
exactly. When it looks good. These index funds are changing their rules to get SpaceX earlier, down to like 6 months, down to like 3 weeks, when they haven't proven themselves to be a worthwhile company to invest in, because they haven't got that track record, they haven't got that year, 6 months, and they're looking to bend their rules, and people's money, which they have no control over, could be going into a company that could completely collapse. And then they've lost all that money. And the reason why you go for index funds is you go into index funds for stability. You want that reliability. Luckily, the S&P 500 aren't budging from their 12-month kind of review period. Other thing to rest assured is only a small percentage, something like 5% or something like that, actually gets bought into the index fund. So it's going to have a very minimal impact on your overall portfolio in that index fund. However, it's a slippery slope. However, it's just unnerving to people who want that predictability. So there's where my interest lies in all of this stuff. I'm not ignorant to individual stocks and IPO and stuff like that. It's just I don't play that game. I don't play that game. I invest in index funds, and I'm done with it.
But it's quite funny to think about it. If you buy into SpaceX, you're buying a piece of Twitter.
Yeah, I know. And I saw in their own blog, maybe it was Cursor's, but in an official blog, SpaceX.
Oh yeah, Cursor as well.
SpaceXAI. I saw the name as SpaceXAI. So I don't know whether they changed it, or whether they're going to change it, or whether that's just a typo. Man. But it's it's crazy. It's crazy to think that.
Well, I am SpaceXAI.
SpaceXAI and Sam AI. This is part of a larger conversation on my show, Command AI, which we stream live every single week. We discuss the news and all things related to AI in the world of design and web. Catch us next week and join in the banter.
Command AI.